explain a little bit about the Vulfpeck gig. And if you guys don't know who that is, go to Spotify or wherever you get your music. Go check them out because they're an entity unto themselves. They're incredible. So explain to me how that happened.
Sure. I was playing, for people that aren't familiar, there's a club called Bunkers in Minneapolis. There's a band called Dr. Mambo's Combo that's been doing a gig for 30 years.
35 years, something like that.
And, Prince would come and hang out there, and a lot of the band was Prince alumni, that sort of thing. And the guitarist, Billy Franzi, had rotator cuff surgery because he had a bowling incident. We'll stop and acknowledge that. So I was subbing for him for maybe 6 months.
Wow.
I don't remember, something like that, because he was recovering. And I was hanging out there already a lot, sitting in, and I would sub for him once in a while before that. But while he was gone, that was a time when some of the other cats from Wolfpack were in town playing for another artist. They came, hung out. That's where I met them. And eventually we just hit it off as friends. Like I could, it's that sort of thing where you can tell who the musicians are in the audience. When you're playing on stage, you can kind of tell in a club who the musicians are. The way that they're watching the fingers and the gear and the way they're pointing and talking to each other, you know who the musicians are. Right. I was like, oh man, these guys look my age, look like they would be my friends. I can tell they're musicians. Why don't I know them? They must be from out of town. So after the set, Theo and Jack, and I don't remember who else was there at the time, came up and introduced themselves. We hit it off, became great friends, eventually started jamming a lot together. And then it just kind of all bubbled into friendship, leading into playing more together, and then kind of becoming a part of the band and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's funny because I think Jack, who's the band leader of Wolfpack, his initial intention was for it to be an internet band. Yeah. And it was just a YouTube act. I remember the first couple sessions that I ever did with Wolfpack. He's like, all right, guys, let's remember, we're a YouTube act. We're not a band. We're a YouTube act. It's funny just because...
That's a good mindset to get in. That's inspiration for you.
Yeah, it's like, it's a different... Like, it's like, oh, yeah, we're making a record, but at the same time, there's video, and that's a big part of it, and Jack has had a vision for the band from the beginning, and then eventually the popularity started to just grow and grow and grow, and people wanted to see it live. And starting a few years ago, started touring a lot more.
Right.
And then, our last gig that we played was in September, which was at Madison Square Garden. So it's like, it's grown and grown from...
Not one night.
No, it was just one night.
Was it one night? I thought you did multiple nights.
It was only one night.
Oh, no, I'm really
But it was sold out.
Wait, now you're not signed. You don't have a manager. How does this happen?
The internet. The internet's amazing. God, and I think also just like...
Good music.
Yeah, that. And we have Joe Dart, who's like the best bass player of our generation.
By the way, please tell him I'm a huge fan, would you?
I will.
Please tell him that. He's a bad dude.
And just so many... There's a band of characters. It's like we're all our own kind of character on our instruments, but also in real life in a funny and cool way. And you have Jack, who is... a visionary, and the Billboard and Rolling Stone articles are like, this band sold out Madison Square Garden without a manager. It's like, yeah, but Jack also really is the manager of the band.
Okay.
And we don't have a traditional management thing, and there's no label, but Jack runs Wolf Records, which is its own independent thing with only Wolfpack and Fearless Flyers on it. But Jack really is a visionary, and the thing that I tell people is you see somebody who is a complete master of their craft. You watch Chris Thiele play the mandolin. You watch Yo-Yo Ma play the cello. You watch Brad Meldau play the piano, or Keith Jarrett play the piano. Yeah. The internet is Jack's mandolin.
Is that right?
He just gets it.
Wow.
And he understands... He understands the internet in a different way, and that kind of is, a fun way that he's been able to express himself with the band and with the way that he's built it through the internet. And it's incredible to see, because I've watched his ideas flow. I've spitballed with him so many. I mean, he's had so many ideas that I've heard him talk about that are brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like, I know they're coming and I can't wait for them to come out. Or some that, he's thought of. It's like, I don't think that would work. And watching him go through that process and think through that, it's like, wow, and that's inspired me and helped me learn a lot and start to think about the way that I do things on the internet. It's like playing with other amazing musicians. It calls you up to a higher level. And
it's funny. You'll appreciate this. I'm going to interrupt you because I want to give you a compliment because I can tell that you learned from your experience there and you took it to a whole new level. You Coryized it, right? And starting with your green screen band, go check that out, you guys. Go check out Cory's. Please, before we get off here, make sure we know how to find you and
Sure.
see all your videos. But then you started doing these things where you would play live in the studio and do a one camera. Whether Vulf started it or you started it, I don't know. But it would be one camera on a Steadicam, turning it with a certain filter to look grainy and stuff like that. People all over town, hey, just Cory Wong it, man, just do that. So you became that guy.
That was
yes.
a Jack thing. That was part of Jack's vision. That single shot iPhone, easy, easy thing, and then it actually. So that I started by doing the green screen thing. I would spend hours making these videos, trying to, and developing a sound,
sure,
and a look, right, developing a thing.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, I should do some of these where it's the session thing, where people just see you in the room,
right,
feel like they're there watching. And those videos got more response than the ones that took me a ton of time to do. So it's like, all right, screw it. I'm going to do, if that's what people are digging, it is so much easier for me to do that. And
Isn't
Jack,
that
he
crazy?
said that all the time. He's like, just do one camera. People will see the thing. And it also, there's a different level of pressure, as you know. It's like, this is the take. It's on camera and we're recording it at the same time. It's going to be the take. So let's get it right.
Right. It works so well. And it's so funny because I come from the school a generation or so before you where everything has to be perfect. Mm-hmm. Perfect, meaning especially visually. So you spend thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get this right. And what people really want to see now is the raw, real stuff. So it took me a really long time to figure that. I'm like, that's not me. I gotta do it this way, and I got my way, and all these things like that. And then I've just did the one camera shoot. It's beautiful, man. It captures a moment in time that's real, heartfelt, and you can look at the players interacting with each other. Super, super cool. So my pocketbook thanks you for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense to a certain degree also, because it's like when somebody feels like they're there and there's no doubt, it's the thing that's happening. That's it translates, and people connect with that. So it's cool to have it be something like you're saying that is so low cost.